Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 5 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. And it is also a library. Or it was a library. It is a library. When we last left off, we got introduced to Smiley, who was the sort of mastermind of the game. They rolled out a couple of rules for us, pretty much things we already knew, but laid it out in specifics. And then we went on the train in our different pairs. We decided to pair up with Marco, and here we are in the library with Marco now. There were rows upon rows of books. The bookshelves were completely filled to the brim. Here and there were a few little computers scattered around, but most importantly was the fact that there were windows, Unfortunately, all the windows had metal plates bolted over them. I was looking around, I was like, I don't see any. Is that what these are? The weird paintings? We weren't getting those open anytime soon, or it's just not showing it. There was one window which was uncovered, but when I looked through it, I saw a very bizarre sight. It was some kind of weird, small room. I assume this was the scanner Smiley mentioned previously. So this was our exit then. Not that I'd have been able to leave at that moment, since going through there would have probably killed me if I tried. Our search eventually also showed us there were a bunch of benches to relax or read books on. Some tables and seats were off to the sides. Hey, you know what? Let's kick it. Grab a nice fantasy novel. This place was rather big at that. Oh, look, there's a little map here. We can see how big this place is. That must be the exit room up there. That certainly would come in handy. This place was decently big. I'll take care of this side, and you look through the other side. Just let me know if you find anything cool, or just let me know if you find anything awesome. I don't know, something I want to read. Like an ice pop. I said cool, not cold. Obviously talking about leaving this room ASAP. Codes, objects we can take and such, escape room stuff. Roger then. Marco split up from me as soon as I took in the size of this room. There were so many books in this place, I was sure I could have stayed there my whole life, reading one a day, and still not be done by my death. Ah! Crack the code! Do I actually get to crack any codes this time? Alright, well we got a lot. First, let's just take a look here. Okay, so we're here. The entrance, I believe, is here. This was I still can't tell if this is probably the exit, because we came up the stairs. And then there's another spot over here, but it looks like that's where Marco is probably looking. Alright. Let's start well, you know what? Let's chat with Marco first. Now that I think about it, your outfits made me a lot... What? Your outfits made me a lot hungrier than I thought I was. You work at a pizzeria, right? Pizza Wheat? What? I'm not even quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. Pizza Wheat? Pizza what? Was it? Driving around the city delivering foods for people with futures. That's my job. What about it? Why are you in that getup today? Didn't you have some exams? Had a shift this morning before the exams. You'd be surprised how much people order pizza in the early hours of the day. They're absolutely insane. Listen, there's almost no time of day that I wouldn't take a pizza. Even the times that I wouldn't normally feel like eating, I would still eat a pizza. So, you're insane. Well then, if delivering food for people with futures is your job, you should pay yourself a pizza then. Finals went well, and you got a future, right, Simon? Tried to avoid outright declining to get pizza, even if my grimace was probably telling. Maybe, but I just don't really know where I'm going. So about that future, it's not that bright. Listen, you don't always need to know the destination, man. Sometimes it's just about the journey. He shrugged, not pursuing the topic any longer. It seemed like just as I dodged the topic of the pizza, he dodged the one about the future. We all had our fair share of worries. And don't call me Simon here. Call me S. We have nicknames for a reason. Well, but no one else is... Well, they're worried that Smiley's listening, so fair enough. Alright, let's start looking around here. Let's look at this wooden pillar. Take a moment to appreciate the architecture of this place. While I didn't really have a job related to that field, I was still allowed to admire the handiwork. Next to it was some kind of painting. Nice little path. Didn't recognize what it was, just some kind of landscape. A few of those were disseminated around these parts. That's a weird... weird choice to use disseminated there. Look, an ATM. I'm gonna use it to get some money out. He pushed a few buttons. Nothing happened, so he pushed some more. At some point, he stopped pushing buttons and started mashing his hand down against the machine. Marco, you straight up dumb. Hey, whoa! Stop with the rage against the machine, but this thing isn't working, and now you're telling me I have to stop listening to music, too? It's probably not even an ATM. Why would there be an ATM here anyway? The library, you get stuff for free. Yeah, but... okay, fine. It's a library, so stop making so much noise. Why are we here with Marco? I abandoned the pursuit, choosing not to point out that he was causing a much bigger ruckus than I ever would have done. Alright, let's check out the computers. Really wanted to sit down, but if I did, I knew Marco would make fun of me. Might fall asleep again. Even worse, it would make our search go by so much slower. I decided to abandon the idea, but if I ever had a reason, I'd definitely take it. Alright. What about this little nook back here? There's an area back there with a desk, a bin, some bookshelves, and a chair. It was a little cozy, but there wasn't enough space for anyone to really study there. I don't know. It's a nice table. Look it up. I saw there was a hole in the middle of the second floor, surrounded by more railings. Okay, yep, I'm seeing that. Falling over would prove difficult, though that hole was a little silly, too. Would be what I expect out of a mansion or something, but this corner was far too small to constitute that. Probably just for aesthetics. Okay, well, let's look up there then. Also, how do you get there? I just realized. Because there's a stair here, but that doesn't connect to there. That ladder, that ladder's not gonna get you anywhere. You're gonna climb up here and then get in there. Couldn't get up there. Okay, well, yeah, now we're addressing it. Great. Couldn't get up there alone. There were no ladders tall enough in this room, and unless we stacked enough books, which would take a year to do and be very dangerous to climb, we weren't getting up there. Who would make an inaccessible second floor? Maybe it's not meant to be accessible because it's not a real library. What if it's just a replica? Or if the books up there are duds? But why? I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to make this into a believable living space, like a big study room. Anyway, maybe we can get up there if one of us lifts the other. If you think I'm gonna lift you up there, you got some kind of delusion. It's all good, I can do it instead. I'm okay with it. Maybe if it ends up being necessary, then fine. Just don't drop me. I don't know, even a person lifting a person out, like maybe you could get a hand on this little part right here. And then you'd have to lift yourself up. I couldn't do it. But I have no upper arm strength, so... never gonna let you down. Alright, let's take a look at these plants. I saw Marco stare at a plant. That was pretty rude of him, so I went... what? So I went over to tell him to stop doing that right this instant and learn some manners instead. However, when I came near, he lifted a hand as if to tell me to stop. He's really annoyed with my constant yelling at him for looking at plants. Hold on. Plant. Another one of your dumb jokes? They're not dumb. And no, I just remembered. I knew a girl named Plante. Plante before? Really? That's kind of weird. Not really a name. Maybe more like someone's last name. No, it wasn't her first name, you dumbass. It was like... oh, yeah. He snapped his fingers and his face lit up as if he discovered the secret to immortality or something as equally important. Her name was Anastasia Plante. She was a little silly in the head. I remember her. She had white hair. Really weird. Where is this going, Marco? I don't know if that was due to a condition or... anyway, at least her name wasn't Anastaropa or something even weirder like Anastamerica. Didn't know you even knew other people. Didn't know you had friends, Marco. Learn things every day. He looked at me like a sad little puppy as I chose to disregard his dumb joke, and then after I gave him a pat on the shoulder to reassure him in this trying time, we split up again. Alright, let's take a look at this desk over here. Hello, yes, I'm here to return the first edition of Her Bright Immaterial. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's no one behind the counter. I'm behind the counter. No, you're in front of it. I'm behind the counter for whoever would be on the other side. That doesn't... It's... Ugh. When we thought about what I said, I slipped away unnoticed. The other counter was a rather large poster, so we wouldn't miss it. It read, "Please be quiet. This is a library." Do you read that, Em? Sorry. This is Simon. Do you read that, Em? I guess we have to be silent now, or else we'd anger the librarian, and then we'd be banned from the library. Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, so I guess I'll be the librarian then, and my first action will be smash our exit open. Though all I currently have in order to do so are my bare hands. If you really want to do that, then go ahead. I don't want to hurt my fist just pounding on it. Remember Ray and how we tried to slam open that door? Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Our best bet to escape this place is someone saying my name 3 times in rapid succession. Marco Martin, Marco Martin. Oh man, that is a tongue twister. Marco Martin, Marco Martin, Marco Martin. There we go. How do you feel? Still trapped because you summoned me here when I already was, you buffoon. Straight up moron. Between us both, I definitely wasn't the buffoon. I don't know, you both seem pretty dumb to me. This place had a bunch of garbage bins strewn around. They were all in locations close to the wall, even if normally they were situated in a more accessible place, just in case you dropped trash behind them by mistake. If Smiley wanted us to live here for a long time, at least we're not short on suitable housing for Ray. Got him. Patted the top of the bin. Leave it to you to turn everything we find into a joke. Look through the trash. Okay, well, before we start looking into things, let's talk with Marco one more time, see what he has to say. Marco! Bolo. I'm here, what's up? What happened to calling each other by our first letter? I shrugged in defense, truly having no retort to that. He was right. Oh, yeah, I didn't have time to tell you earlier, but remember when I said I recalled something about Ray? You remember something? Yeah, he was my teacher maybe 2 years ago. So he's a teacher of science things? These aren't only science things. These are also important life lessons. Essentially, you're right, though. He was teaching some science class. And any clue about the others, too, while you're at it? Marco looked pensive. Actually, not a clue about the others. Only Ray. Maybe something from the university ties us together? Shook my head, knowing full well Jasmine had never gone there. Alright, let's look through the trash. I looked inside the bin, decided to become a trash boy. Who would hide anything inside a bin anyway? Wasn't that unsanitary? Oh god, I forgot, you're germaphobe. Smiley didn't know proper hygiene etiquette. After much consideration, I didn't either, since I assumed there would be something inside the bin. I tried moving in, but it was strongly bolted to the floor, preventing me from doing so. Hey, are all the bins stuck on the ground? Yep. I checked the others already. Actually, that reminds me, one of them had something. Produced a book out of nowhere. I repulsively grimaced at that. Marco, that was in the trash. Doesn't look terrible to me. I think it'll be useful. The book is called Cephalocodex. The title is A Study on the Variables of the Head. Weird. Has a key with an eye for a handle on the cover. Key with an eye for the handle. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Why is that kind of book here? Aren't we in one of the installations of the MTS? The MTS stood for Montreal Transport Society, which was the company that regulated everything related to the metro, from the trains, the tickets, to the staff. Thought Smiley might have been a member of that staff, now that Marco brought it up. If he wasn't, how'd he manage to do all this? I'll keep the book, do you mind? Nope. Feel free to study it if you want. I had to look for somewhere suitable to read this. Well, wouldn't that... Okay, well, we could go read it over here. Yeah, sure. Let's read it first. Sat down with the book Marco had handed to me. I decided this would be the perfect place to start studying it. Aw, shit, I'm missing something. Upon opening the book, I saw it actually was empty of writing. The entire thing was like one of those Bibles with an empty slot where a drunkard priest would put a beer in some B movie. And it's locked. The little box has a golden lock, so until I find something to unlock it, that's the end of the road for that idea. Stood up and continued my search for a key. Okay, well, let's head up then. I ascended the stairs. On the second floor, there were about as many books as there were on the first floor. And yes, first floor, because it was first on the ground. I didn't live in England. Yeah, listen, I'm with you, man. I don't live in England either. Actually, I was wrong about that. That wasn't the first floor, was it? We were underground. That's fair. It took a moment to contemplate that idea. If we hadn't been underground, I would have been on the second floor, but since we're here, it's probably on something like... I held my mouth in shock. I probably was overground now, actually, because we took a flight of stairs up from the metro in the first place. Oh, we're above ground! Maybe there's a way to leave this room and escape to the streets. No chances. The windows are bolted shut, and this is just a secret between you and I. You spoke to me from below. I actually managed to pull one of those plates off, and behind was just a flat, solid wall. The windows here? He shrugged in disbelief. They don't exist. I wonder if this place is really above ground. That's an interesting thought. Alright, let's look at the super weird clock. This clock gave me the creeps, and I couldn't understand why. Really? You can't understand why this clock is giving you the creeps. I mean, just off the top of my head, it could be that instead of numbers, we have letters, and instead of 2 hands, it has 4. That's just off the top of my head. Maybe I would know, maybe I would be able to know the exact reason once I figured out its purpose. Okay, well, since I was up there already, I chose to check for anything special I could find in the bookshelves. There were just so many books, though. It's raining books, but there are also some empty spaces between them. One of them, oh, I found a gold key. Fantastic. Handle was shaped like an eye. All you have to do to find this key is to open your eye. Sunglasses. Done with the second floor, I walked right down the stairs. Alright, well now we can open this thing up, see what we got. Opened the book after I sat down. While open, it became clear that this book had nothing in it except a large compartment void of pages cut in the middle of it all. A golden lock guarded that compartment, which I soon made quick work of by using the key with the eye handle. Nice. Cover was a dead giveaway. Inside the compartment was another key, but this time it was black. The tiny handle was shaped like a clock. Okay. It was actually really, really tiny, too. Is this some sort of winding key? Key with a clock on it in the cephalocodex. Does that mean anything? Inside the compartment, excuse me, were some instructions for the key. My spot is at the end after every other. As the milliseconds add up to hours, line me. I felt like I was really close to solving this room. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the clock. We're gonna wind it in some way to solve this. Figured the key I'd found, which looked like a clock, would be used in the clock itself. Standing before it, I pushed it inside the middle bits regulating the hands. They could move. My spot is at the end of the line. The end of the line. After all the others. Looking at the clock and what letters were on it, I realized I was weird. Oh yeah. It's got letters in 4 clock hands, not just 3. Wait, so that means one's the hour hand, one's the minute hand, one's the hand for the seconds, and the last one is for the milliseconds. 4 letters. Tried last, maybe? It's at the end after everyone else and has 4 letters. Marco sprang up next to me, having overheard what I've been solving. Here goes. Twisted the winding key to work the hands over, and once they were aligned to make the word last, the clock opened. Marco was right? God. I still didn't get to do it. I mean, that's probably good. I'm not sure I would have been able to get that. At least not quickly. Behind in the wall was a safe that seemed a bit cold to the touch. It's refrigerated. Let's see what's inside. He brought out some sandwiches. What? He brought out some sandwiches and a piece of electronics, like a small tablet with a coda. Oh, okay, we get food for doing a good job, being good boys. That's most likely our password to get out. But why is there food here? I don't care, I'm hungry. Swiped one, I took the other. Didn't trust the sandwiches because they seemed really strange, and Marco was biting into his own, didn't fall dead. Figured there may not have been any problem with them. I just couldn't understand why. few minutes passed while we ate our sandwiches. Marco was looking at his half-eaten sandwich. Something struck him and he pointed at it. Remember we said something about sandwiches? Swallow, then talk. It's not polite to talk with your mouth full, and I don't understand anything you're telling me. Took a few seconds to do that, finished up the bite he was chewing. Shook my head in complete derision. What he wanted to say was apparently so important, he'd risk not being understood. What if there's a clue in these sandwiches? What if they're just eating paper? I just remembered something about that, what I was talking about earlier, about hunger. Oh good, we're getting back to this. Remember how I said when you get hungry, you don't really get hungry? I remember that, but it doesn't make any sense. Well, think of it this way. When you get hungry, your stomach goes, and you go, oh my god, I'm hungry. That's because your stomach sends a signal to your brain to tell it, yo, I gotta eat, bro. How long do we gotta starve? What you're feeling is basically that. But suppose that your head wouldn't be connected to your body anymore. You'd still stay alive by some miracle. Your stomach would still growl, but you wouldn't feel it. You wouldn't feel the hunger anymore. That means the stomach is what gets hungry, and the head is what knows the stomach is hungry. Does that make sense? Like, it's a signal, that's what I'm trying to explain. But isn't it enough that you get that signal anyway? Yeah, that makes you feel hungry, but you aren't hungry. He poked my stomach. I pulled away a little to avoid his finger, but the poking had already occurred. Get it now? What you just felt is the same way. I didn't touch you. In fact, I didn't even touch your body. All I touched was your shirt. And your shirt, well, it's connected to your skin, which is connected to your nerves, which are connected to your brain. And even touch is a signal, a sense. But did I really touch you? Now that's the question. I looked at him with a victorious gleam in my eye. I mean, okay, I see what they're doing here. They're definitely going for a 999 VLR thing of like, hey, let's talk about some philosophical concepts that are gonna sort of come back around to the main story of kind of being important or in some way relate to it. This feels like a little bit of a weaker one to start with, but alright. Oh, this time he was the one who would get joked on. You try to get some sort of defense just in case you get arrested for bad touch. Boom! Boom! Get roasted, Marco. Get out of here. Marco lifted his hands in defense of himself. Aw, oh, come on. No, of course not. Wouldn't do that. I'm sure that'll fly very well with your eventual wife. Jesus. She'll say, you were really good in bed today. I loved it. And then you reply, oh, I didn't really touch you. That was just a signal. This time I managed to make him avert his eyes. Simon, 1 point. Marco, 5,367 points, maybe. The score was really lopsided. Hey, don't delay the lunch either. We gotta eat and get out of here. Right, you got me, fine. I'll just finish eating. Even though we were done exploring this place, evidenced by the fact we had the password to escape, I felt as though we had yet to see one of the locations. Back out into the hallway, a locked door barred my progress. It quickly came open with the password that we found. Inside was a stranger room. The best way to describe it was a bottleneck. The room was somewhat wide at first, but it led into a little hallway that could only accommodate the width of one person. And that hallway also had a strange blue glow on the walls, ceiling, and floor. Some sort of checkpoint? Looks dangerous. Definitely don't want to cross this until we know what to do with it. Since we were on a bit of a schedule, and the other groups are also most likely finishing their exploration, decided against looking at things more closely here for the time being. Hey Marco, you wouldn't believe what I found. Glowing lights. What? Did you find the exit? No, wait, that's believable. Did you find the Queen of England? Found the exit. Great! Let's go then. No, I don't think that's a good idea. See, it had these scanners or something. I think it's going to check if we have that 9th person with us. If we don't... Marco didn't seem like the adventurous type today, so he wordlessly agreed to leave that alone for now. What have you been up to while I went to check for that? Oh, I went downstairs and entered the password. Both sides are now open. Alright. Let's head back. Sure. We could also head further in by using the train on the same side we came here on, but that would cut us off from the rest. Probably not wise to do so. Then again, what even is wisdom, am I right? What's the point of thought? Vibes only. I waited for him to continue on that thought, but he simply shrugged. I don't know, I guess that's a rhetorical question. Sometimes people do stupid things. Yeah, but you know a lot about that. While I gave him some sass, I moved downstairs, followed by him. He grumbled some sort of retort, but I knew that he had nothing to strike back with. Once we arrived at the station, past the lobby, we waited for the train in silence. This is a much preferred method of communication with Marco. Usually it would take a while, but I had a feeling Smiley might have rigged the place to make it go faster. Probably wouldn't want whatever he's trying to make us do take forever. Fair enough. The train arrived just as I'd guessed, and we boarded it momentarily. As we strapped in, I caught myself wondering exactly what the purpose behind this was. French words? The train took off, again in silence. Okay, no French words. The announcer once again gave us our destination, but I barely listened to it. Instead, I was thinking about how silly this entire thing really was. Why did Smiley even make us do this? Why lock the doors? What exactly did we do here? We certainly hadn't accomplished a great thing. All we did was make a tablet boot up. Then we were fed the answer. Finally, we arrived at the station the old man and the strange girl had disembarked at. Oh, that's surprising. They're waiting for the same train. Huh? Oh, look at that. I like his little hop that he did there. That was good. A&E entered the train, with the old man carefully leading the girl by the hand. He gave us a smile when he entered, patiently waiting until the girl was inside too before speaking to us. How serendipitous. We are taking the same train to go back to the first station. Have you two managed to find anything special? No, not really. Sandwiches are kind of special, but nothing else really out of the ordinary. We did find the exit. Well, I found it. He was, unfortunate to say, not too useful for this sort of thing. Right, we also found one. Did yours have scanners? Scanners. Ah, the bluish light. Yes, it did have that too. I thought it more prudent not to take chances with it for now. Besides, we can always return to these stations. I remained quiet, content with following the movement of the train as it went towards the midpoint station. I was wondering about what we'd find there once we'd get the doors unlocked. We had found a library, but what did the others find? I was about to ask them, but the train stopped. Then I figured perhaps it would be better if we all shared this information when we'd all returned, avoiding unnecessary repetition. I hate to tell a story twice. Alright, let's go. Old man A and girl E, let's just call her E-girl, already left the place. When Marco called me over, is that a joke that they're trying to make? Did I just think I was telling a joke and that was really the joke the whole time? Maybe. When Marco called me over, I realized that was the case. If we didn't head out promptly, the train would leave without us. Quickly, we stepped outside. Hope they'll all decide to come back here. A approached us while I pondered on everyone else's motives. The train drove off, and he made me an offer. One I couldn't refuse. In the meantime, I believe E would like to communicate with more of you. However, due to her state, it is quite a one-sided conversation. As a result, I proposed to her that I teach someone else how. Would you like to do it? Oh, sure. But aren't the gestures you both share kind of complicated? No, this wasn't the coward in me rearing its head again. I just didn't want to accidentally insult E by mistake, or just fail to formulate basic sentences to begin with. Look, you don't need to justify this. I would feel the same way, Simon. In the face of my question, A simply guffawed. Oh, that part's not on the menu, my boy. Why, it would take me weeks to even scratch the surface of such a complicated touch language. No, I have something much simpler. From his bag, he produced a pen. This Braille pen can condense the matter within the air into a solid form. It's a little like deposition, the process of turning something from a gaseous state to a solid one. In reality, it is a little more like a miniature 3D printer. This one is for the letter A. They only work on perfectly uniform surfaces, such as these. He produced a few thin strips of paper, too, which I was made to take. Then he followed by taking out... This seems like a ridiculous way of doing this, but okay. By taking out another 25 total pens, holding them within both his hands. That's high technology. Are you sure you're fine giving this to me? It's only temporary until we make our way out of here, so of course. He can read Braille, and these will print out the sequence of pins that would let her read it. We're still working on getting them into a single pen, but we're gonna do one of those ones like where you flip the switch down at the top of the pen to get a different color, but it'll be letters. Can you imagine a pen with a setting for 26 different letters? It would be difficult. And also, I used to have the punctuation pens, but I don't know where those have gone. I pondered if this man wasn't a little senile. It's all well and good, but I can't carry this. I don't have the, means to do so. Wink, you know? I illustrated it by pointing at his hands, which were struggling to carry them all. He answered by dropping them all into my arms, which I had to cross in order to carry them. Hey! Give me a moment, I'll solve that dilemma. From his bag, he produced yet another object, a bag like his, but smaller. Here, put them inside this. He opened it at me, and I dropped a lot of the pens inside. Carefully, I also inserted the sheets of paper I'd been carrying alongside them. This bag will hopefully not be too cumbersome. It is nice to be lighter, too. I have quite many things inside mine. That reminds me, Smiley took all our stuff, but they didn't take away your bag? It's been something I contemplated upon, too. Perhaps Smiley wanted to make sure I could be as useful as I desired. Hey, you two. Come over here and check this out. Marco called from the consoles next to the door. He was examining them closely. We approached, and he pointed with his thumb at the second one, which showed a bunch of asterisks. There are 4 keypads on the wall, and we're 4 groups, so I thought maybe I'd enter the password we had to at our station. Lo and behold, the console's broken now. Wait, did you break it? No, I just can't do anything else with it. I can't erase or enter anything. Perhaps it has recognized your input. Have you tried putting it in the other consoles, too? Yeah, I did. All of them allow me to erase or enter more stuff, except for this one. It seems it has recognized your input, then. Let me try putting in the code we had for the station in the first one. As the old man was doing it, I observed carefully. Indeed, much like what happened to Marco, his console stopped responding once the code was in it. Perfect. Now to wait for the other teams. We are making progress, my boys. Almost as if fate had been waiting for us to enter the codes, the train arrived. I turned around to look at the station, wondering who would be coming out next. There's only 2 possibilities. Actually, there's 3, because they could all come out together. The first one who left was Ray. As usual, his attitude was foul. Jasmine followed after. I waited for the twins to leave, but they didn't step outside, and the train drove off. Oh, okay, that's weird. Oh, you're all fine. I'm glad. We're still missing some people, huh? The twins weren't with you? Negative. They must be having some difficulties with their puzzle room. I mean, they are younger than us. Ours wasn't too terrible. But, we found some stuff. What kind of stuff? I wasn't the only one whose interest was piqued. The old man and Marco also listened. Jasmine motioned for Ray to join us, as the angry man was already settling in by his lonesome again. You want me to show them that? Yes. I think it's fairly important. It's not like I really care to help anybody. On the other hand, the sooner we catch that fucker, the better it is, so whatever. Here. He took out a piece of paper from his pocket. It looked rather mistreated. The man's burly hands certainly didn't play nice with it as he unfolded it. Considering the fact none of our rooms contained anything like this, I was rather curious. This thing says, one of you isn't like the others. Well, actually, specifically, it told me to sing a song. It was like, one of you is not like the others. One of you just doesn't belong. Can you guess which one of you's not like the other? Before I finish this song, But I didn't want to sing that, so I'll just sing this. And then there's this stupid bar full of grammar errors. None smile within my mask. I mean, the obvious and weird thing there is the extra eyes. I mean, there's 2 obvious extra ones, but then you could also be all 4 of the eyes. No other particular weird part, though, that I can see. I guess the E. I-I-E. Alright. Look how smile is spelled with 2 eyes, and within is spelled with an E. Oh yeah, well, I guess within does have 2 eyes, huh? I guess I'm just a complete idiot, huh? It looked weird, but it was because of the E. Alright, whatever. It's kind of stupid. Smiley can't even fucking write. What an idiot. I don't know. Isn't it suspicious how there are those additional letters? Suspicious like what? Wait. Suddenly the man had an idea. I could tell with the way his eyebrows were furrowing. It wasn't just anger. This was advanced anger. Oh, I fucking get it. I get it now, Smiley. You little accomplice. Do you think I wouldn't notice? You did, in fact, notice. Shut up. Someone who isn't like the others. That's a traitor. Someone among us is in league with that Smiley. Well, I mean, we pretty much already covered this. I mean, we established one of us could be Smiley, so this isn't, like, new stuff. We've got I and E. Doesn't that mean it's I-E? As in me-E? Wait. Okay, alright. I guess I'm with you here. The blind girl's in on it. Actually, I can corroborate the fact she has no involvement in this. Well, but we can't trust you. Yeah, you can't know that. I bet she can hear and see us too. She's just playing us for fools. He walked towards her. Barring his path was A, who was adamant about her situation. No, she's also legitimately blind and deaf. This isn't going anywhere. Stop this madness at once. Step out of my way, old man. You're as easy to swat as a fly. Yet A did nothing of the sort. He remained there like a wall. An old, easily pushed wall, but a wall nonetheless. I watched on the sidelines, got my popcorn out. The situation had quickly escalated into a fight, but I couldn't do anything. Jasmine was looking disapprovingly at everyone, and Marco also looked as though he didn't want to get involved, averting his eyes. Unsurprisingly, E didn't move, just smiling away. I assumed she still had no idea what was happening. Since A stood up to Ray, and he was an old man, I felt as though... well, fuck, I felt terrible. I'm a boy who's still young, healthy, and not too bad, physically speaking. Wink, wink. I'm single. I moved forward as if to join A in his struggle, but Ray abandoned his pursuit. In the end, my intervention wasn't even necessary. What a relief. The reason why Ray abandoned his battle soon became apparent. The train had arrived at the station. The twins stepped outside. Perhaps the man hadn't wanted to cause violence in front of children, but that was most likely giving him too much credit. He was already drinking from his flask again, back to his isolation. It was probably alcohol. Did something happen? Alright, well, we will have to rejoin our group, newly reformed, and enter into what I presume is the lounge next time. Until then, folks, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.